This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to another edition of C2C Rankem. I'm the host, Big B. My co-host, halfway around the world, Tim Hendrick, Primus. How you doing, bud?
Doing good. Excited. We're in week 2 of our preview for the NFL. I'm going to disappoint. I'm going to tell you, you have a son right next to you. I am probably going to disappoint him.
Yeah. He ran off to his bedroom right now, but. So we're next few weeks. We started last week with the East. We're going to break down the records that we think, predictions, top players lost, top players gained, and stories for each team that we think are going to impact their teams this year. So, and then of course at the end we got our blind five, which is always fun to do. So, with that being said, let's get it going. Tim, we're going to see how the West is won this year. So, AFC West, who is your fourth team?
Well, Big Game James isn't going to like me all that much. I think it's not going to. I don't think having Pete Carroll's going to make a difference. I don't think Geno Smith is going to make a difference. This team's going to be playing for a. I personally think this team's going to be playing for a number 1 pick next year.
Which I think they need, actually.
I think they need a lot. But me personally, I've got the Las Vegas Raiders at 2-5, 15.
2-5.
They're going to win.
They're going to forfeit half their season.
They're going to quit the rest of the season and go, yeah, we knew this experiment was wrong.
I'm with you. I got the Raiders in 4th with the 15th best record in that division, 14-3. I think they are rebuilding. They made that
3-14 or 14. Wait, hold on.
4-13. Did I say?
Well, okay. You said 14-3. I'm going. They're going to the playoffs, and you got them in the worst record in the division.
Okay. It's early. 4-13.
Okay.
So
this is folks. This is why we do morning tailgate on Sundays.
Yeah. All right, you're number 3.
Well, this is where we start upsetting kids. I think the thing is, it's funny is when you realize this division's gotten a lot better, and I'm going to bring up a point later about this team in my one big question for this team. I don't think this team goes back to the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl. I've got the Kansas City Chiefs at 9-8.
Oh, wow.
Told you Jackson should be off.
I'm actually kind of disappointed in that one because I'm just like, but the thing is I'm going to kind of, we probably got the same, big question for the team is somewhere the health is going to catch up to him. The luck, the way Mahomes is playing is going to catch up to him.
Right. It caught up. Think about it. It caught up with Brett Favre. It's going to catch up with Patrick Mahomes.
Too. Yep. My number 3 team, I still think there's some bickering going on with the coach and who he wants as his quarterback spot. The Chargers, I think, is I got them at 11-6, just missing the playoffs.
Just 11-6. Okay.
Yeah. Your number 2 team.
Well, my number 2 team is the 7th seed in the AFC. I think Bo Nix is the right quarterback in that situation. Now think about if you had Bo Nix behind the line that Denver had back under Elway and Terrell Davis.
Geez.
Bo Nix would be
And the weapons.
Bo Nix would be the white Michael Vick. Good Lord. And I think this team's got a possibility. But the funny thing is they have the exact same record that the Kansas City Chiefs have. I've got them at 9-8. I think it's because of the head-to-head record that they beat out Kansas City into the playoffs. But I got them at the number 7 seed, the Denver Broncos.
That defense is good. Is thick.
Scary.
Yeah. My number 2 team, I got Kansas City there, 12-5, the 5th seed. Like I stated earlier, we'll probably talk about a little bit more. Is it's going to catch up to them. So your number 1 team.
My number 1 team, without it, to me, and the funny thing is, I have the same record that you do with Los Angeles, but my Chargers are 11-6, but they're a 4 seed in my brackets. It all depends. This is the and this is going to be the big question that I'm going to bring up later on, but my worry is Joey Bosa is Joey Bosa going to be the person that's going to hurt that being gone? Is that going to hurt the defense or is it going to help the defense?
Yeah, exactly. We got a comment from, I think it's your Aunt Teresa. Saying,
My cousin. It's my cousin.
That's what it was, cousin. So,
the thing is, that'd be weird because she's like 3 years older than I am.
All right. Well, we've heard stranger things. But anyways, my number 1 team, and I think if they keep putting weapons and protect the sky's the limit for this team. That defense is stellar. I got them at 13-4, the number 1 seed coming out of the AFC. Yeah.
The 1 seed. Holy smokes.
Yeah. So, and by the way, guys, we're not just throwing out numbers. We actually gone through playoffprediction.com, I think it is, right, Tim?
NFL playoff predictor.
Yeah, predictor. So I'm hearing dueling banjo. Okay. All right. So that's the West for the AFC. Let's go to the West for the NFC. I got it as a tight division. I'll tell you right now.
I know.
It might shock some people, but in the finishing 4th, the 11th seed in the AFC, going through some rebuilds, and if it all connects, this could be definitely different. But if it doesn't connect, it could fall apart. Seattle at 7-10.
7-10. Let me see what I've got them at. We're pretty close, but right. my number 4 team in that division isn't the Seattle Seahawks. Okay, I want to hear. I want to understand what are the excuses in Arizona now that they've got weapons. I want to know what it is. Is this going to be the make or break year for Kyler Murray? I think it was. They said that a couple of years ago too, but I get it. I understand. He's gotten better, and I appreciate that. But what's he? What 5th or 6th year in his fifth or 6th year in his career right now? And
yeah, something like that.
He should be a little further along. I've got the Arizona Cardinals at 5-12.
And they keep throwing out his height as like that's his kryptonite.
Yeah, okay, and then you have to explain because I think he's actually the same height as Drew Brees.
Yeah,
and that kills your argument.
Say that a small guy and doesn't have the arm, but then he'll come up and have 2 70-yard in the air touchdown passes and stuff like that.
Right.
So I don't know. My number 3 is a team that we talked last week on a couple teams where they want to strike when the oil's hot, and make another run, but they're also losing a lot of big players too. So I got the Rams At 8-9, the 10th seed. Your number 3 team.
Well, my number 3, you've got at number 4. You said you got them at 5 and 12,
7 and 10.
7 and 10. I've got them. I've got that same team at 6 and 11. I just, you add. We'll talk about who they added later. My worry is that at that quarterback position was it a one and done fluke in Minnesota, or was it a? I don't know.
Yep. At number 2 in that division, I got the Cardinals just missing the playoffs with the 9th seed at 8-9. And I got a lot of the same questions you do about the Cardinals and that time frame. So your number 2 team.
Well, I've got the team that you have at number 3, if I'm not mistaken. I've got the Rams. I think they're putting things together. Are they having enough now that they got Devontae Adams there? I don't know. But are they? I think they're making a strong push for Stafford to make one last deep run, trying to make one last deep run towards the Super Bowl. I've got them making the playoffs at 11-6 as the 7 seed.
Wow,
the NFC is going to be tough.
NFC is going to be tough, yeah. In our eyes,
yeah.
All right, my number 1 team, the 49ers, 11-6, the 3 seed. They lost some big pieces, but they gained some pieces that could help them out. The draft wasn't so bad. And I got a good topic for the one big question for them coming up later. Your number 1 team.
I've got the 49ers. You got them at the 1 seed. I've got them at the 3 seed.
I got them at 3 seed.
Well, you got them at the 3 seed. Well, I got them at the 3 seed too. But I've got them at 14-3. To me, their strength of schedules, if I remember it right, isn't all that strong.
Nope.
I think the bigger problem they're going to have is within their own division, because it's still the West. The West is still has a lot of power in it. But yeah, I've got them at 14-3 at the 3 seed, which should tell you where I've screwed up somewhere.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think this AFC West is kind of like the NFC West this year. To me, looks like the AFC West a few years ago, where the teams were strong, but you still had the powerhouse Kansas City. You kind of didn't really know where the Raiders were, but it's just like, well, they had the key pieces. They could make a playoff push. The Chargers are there. So that's what I think this division is I think it's going to be a tight division. It's going to be, who can win the games in your division, I think.
Right.
All right. So now we'll go to the key pieces that each team's lost. We got 5. We'll start with the AFC West. So your 5th person or players that the team AFC West has lost.
I think my number 5, if there's one thing that I don't think that Denver should have lost, was the running back that they had. He's definitely going to be the big gain for the Cowboys. But I've got Javonte Williams, the running back from Denver. I thought he was a perfect fit for that system. He worked well with Bo Nix. I think it was a mistake for him to leave, but what do we know? We're worse than Mel Kiper. We don't even show up for doing draft stuff, but I think it was a huge mistake.
All right, at number 5, I also have Denver, and I think they're one of the teams that didn't lose many players. So for you to pick the running back was a good one. I'm actually going to pick, because it's a three-tier game, I'm going to pick their punter, Riley Dyson. And people are probably rolling your eyes just like you did, but I understand
it, because you think about it. Punters flips field position all the time.
Exactly, the flip field position. They know, the team knows. Okay, he's a good corner kicker, or he's just going to boot the ball as far as he can. Let's go get it. so they know the things, and I think that might be their key part. If they can't control that field position on that side or that dimension of the game, could be a big factor. So,
Right.
all right, your number 4 player.
I Kansas City had weapons, and then you let one walk. You let a couple walk. If I remember this, so unbelievable. He was a late season. I want to say he was a late season pickup.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a shocker.
It was a shock to me. I wasn't expecting them to pick up a wide receiver like that, and especially one of the caliber that he was. He's not gone, but you don't let somebody like that go. Yeah, my number 4 is DeAndre Hopkins. My mind froze right there. It was like, wow.
Yeah, and actually put this list together, I was shocked to see him on that, gauntlet. I'm sticking with Kansas City. We kind of touched on it with the quarterback play. I think, and I'm probably going to, repeat myself here shortly. At number 4, Kansas City losing Carson Wentz as their backup. He's got the experience. Yeah, he's injury prone himself too, but it's one of those things where, Mahomes, if Mahomes goes down, I know you're not a big fan,
now.
but what's going to happen with the backup situation? So, you're number 3.
Yeah, and it was funny because when you brought up the health potential of Patrick Mahomes, and I'm thinking if we're worried about it, somebody at the offense, somebody in the offensive coordinator's room should be paying attention too. And you don't let one of your best offensive linemen go to Chicago. You just don't do it. I think Thuney is going to look like a preeminent offensive lineman, especially with that system. My number 3 is the offensive guard from Kansas City, Joe Thuney.
Yep, I had him on the list too, so that was a good one. My number 3, we talk about backup quarterbacks playing a big role. With the Chargers, you got Herbert. Now you have nobody else because I haven't really dived deep into the roster, but I don't know who their backup is. But
I'll look that for you.
Last year it was Gardner Minshew, and this year he's on his way out. So
he's in Kansas City.
That was going to be a point down the road. So you lose a backup.
The Chargers' backup quarterbacks this is the backup quarterback room. Tyler Heineke is the second, and Trey Lance is third.
Yeah, I like Heineke. I like Lance. They
I like Heineke.
Yeah, Heineke, Minnesota should never let him go. All right, you're number 2 person.
Washington should have never let him go, but look what happened. My number 2 person went. Oh, this is. I'm happy that the Raiders decided to extend Max Crosby, but then you let this guy go. I don't get it. This one blew my mind when I said it, and I guarantee you, if we talk to Mr. Gonzalez, I think he would say the exact same thing. Mike Vrabel got lucky in New England because he got an outside linebacker that's a lot like him. How do you let this guy go? This blew my mind when I saw he was gone. It's unbelievable. My number 2 is Robert Spillane from the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, I don't even have a Raider on here. I just looked at that. I was like, wow. I didn't do that great. But I like that pick. I just overlooked them.
That's all right.
Yeah, my number 2 player, you have him at 4, I think it was. Kansas City, you bring in this big guy. I can't remember what the trade value was for him. But, you bring in Hopkins. Yeah, he's up there, but he's still athletic enough. He's still one of the top 15 receivers, when healthy.
He's Reggie Wayne. He's technically Reggie Wayne.
Yeah. And to put a weapon with that caliber, with the weapons that you have, to go over the middle, along with Kelsey, I think that was a big mistake. But again, we're sitting here doing a podcast, and they know what they're doing. So I think our number ones are going to be the same.
Yeah, because I brought him up last week as an addition to the Buffalo Bills. Mm-hmm. I get it. I completely get it. When you're good, you price yourself out of your original team. It just happens. My number one is the former defensive end from the Los Angeles Chargers, Joey Bosa.
Yep, that's who I got too. And you're good. You price yourself out, but there's always that home team discount, that people throw out there. If you're happy there, you're going to stay. That's one thing with a lot of players now is I don't want to say they're chasing the money, they're chasing the ring, but money talks, and so. All right, so let's get to the AFC or NFC side of things. This division lost a lot of good players. I mean, they lost.
Yeah, this could be a day and a half just on this division.
Yeah, it could be lost. I'm going to start with the Arizona Cardinals, and we kind of brought it up with Kyler Murray, and is his time ticking? Well, he's got 3 new offensive linemen to kind of replace. So I got those offensive linemen that they lost, because if you got questions at your quarterback position and you're now going to rebuild it a little bit, because we know most teams only carry 5-6 offensive linemen, 7 at the most, and you're losing 3 of them got replaced. I mean, that's that coexistence with them is going to be tough. So them losing their 3 offensive linemen, I think, is big.
I like it.
You're number 5.
My number 5 is a cornerback from the 49ers. The Colts benefit, I don't argue. We need somebody to make us look good back there, considering we stole somebody from the Vikings too. But hey, we paid a heavy price for that, because you guys got a couple of our players too. So, but I got Charvarius Ward, the cornerback from the 49ers. I think if there's a weak spot now, I think their weak spot in the defense is going to be deep, and I think over the middle.
Did the Niners lose a lot of defensive players?
They lost a shit ton of people, especially on the defense.
I think it was, and granted, a lot of them, are not starters. They're not all starters, but still, you only have 25 defensive players on a 52-man roster. I mean,
you're running
almost half that's killer.
Yeah, you're usually running 23, 24 aside.
Yeah.
And if you're running a solid rotation, you don't mess with the rotation.
Speaking of the Niners, at number 4 here, you talk about benefiting for the Colts. I think this guy's going to be a huge guy in Minnesota. And I was actually kind of excited when they signed him, because I'm almost like, okay, see what the numbers he did to replace McCaffrey in the short term. And I think you had him on your fantasy team and started playing him right away. And then you held on to him when McCaffrey came back. Jordan Matson, I think, is going to be a big loss over there, especially if McCaffrey can't stay healthy.
We still good?
You're number 4.
You still got me?
Yep. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, it's a little glitchy.
All right. My number 4. Well, you went 49ers to the Vikings. Well, I'm going 49ers to the Vikings too, but I'm not going the same way you went. I'm going with somebody from the defensive tackle spot. I think this is a huge upgrade for the Vikings. Big problem for. I think this is going to be a big problem for the Niners to lose this guy. I've got Javon Hargrove going to the Vikings. I think that, like I said, it's all upside for Minnesota. It's all downside for San Francisco.
Yep. Well, let's keep picking on the Niners here because at number 3, I got possibly the biggest move in the offseason that I think shocked a lot of people. And you lose a weapon like this on the offense side, the Tyler Hill type players that can do almost anything. And you send them to a team that's up and coming. I mean, big props to them, but losing Deebo Samuel, I think, is going to hurt this team a little bit on that offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I think that's going to be huge. I kind of saw it coming. The writing was kind of been on the wall for a while, but yeah, it's not good.
All right, you're number 3.
My number 3, I'm going to Seattle. You bring in somebody like Sam Darnold. You kind of want to keep the line that you've got and to let one of your linemen go, especially someone of his caliber, and you just let him go to let me see where I sent them to. Oh, the Texans. Well, at least Texans are going to be happy. I didn't need to see him. That's the replacement for Laramie Tunsil, which I brought up last week to the Commanders. But you don't lose somebody like Laken Tomlinson, especially if you're bringing in a new quarterback that needs a bit of protection. This is one of the reasons why I think the Seahawks are going to have a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, losing, like you said, we can say it to a lot of teams. You bring in a new quarterback and you got a solid line, and now you lose a piece. Yeah, that's pretty, especially an older quarterback. So my number 2, we kind of brought him up a little bit already. The Rams losing Cooper Kupp. I know he's up there, but the guy's still electrifying. He's still one of the guys in today's game. If I need a big catch, I think I would look his way. And, that was proven in the Super Bowl a few years ago, playoffs. I got Cooper Kupp. The Rams are, they replaced him with Adams and stuff like that, but, that connection. So you're number 2.
Well, the only way we snipe in this if you get the right spot. You get the right spot. It's the right spot. Well, it's not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 2 is Cooper Kupp as well. What can you say? Cooper Kupp. I'll be honest. When Cooper Kupp got drafted, I took him like late in one of their fantasy football rounds. I got lucky. I heard that he was going to be great, and then to be drafted as low as he was, and then he's like Puka, to be honest. I took Puka too. Puka was a shock, but yeah, my number 2 is Cooper Kupp.
All right, so my number 1, you talked about Seattle, you talked about them gaining Sam Darnold, losing one of their offensive line, but you bring a new quarterback, got some receivers to replace, you lose 2 of your bigger receivers. That's the thing. Is losing one maybe, but you let both walk or traded one and stuff. So Lockett and McCaffrey, I think, are going to be big misses in Seattle in the short, at least for the first few weeks. But overall, I think it might still be a big miss.
Well, I'll make you happy. I don't have Tyler Lockett at my number 1, but I've got DK Metcalf. When I remember that, and I was like, think about that. Your 2 biggest wide receivers in that division are gone.
Yeah.
3. Matter of fact, you could add the 3rd one. You could put are out of the division at this point, out of the division completely.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, I have a Seattle buddy, and he's like, I know we're gonna lose one receiver, and we're like, well, what if you lose both? He's like, I don't think we're gonna lose both. We can't lose and they lose both, and yeah, he's livid. So, but all right, so let's go from the losses to the gains. Go to the AFC. Tim, your 5th biggest gain for a team in the AFC.
Well, James is going to be happy that basically this seems like some days there were days where on morning tailgate where it seemed like I was picking on James, and I really wasn't. It's not my fault. He's a Raiders fan. That's a little shot. But I get it. I don't. You got to be happy that you got a quarterback, And I think he should have stayed in Seattle. Oh yeah, but that's just me. But my number 5, it's better than Gardner Minshew. I'll tell you that. And what is it, Aiden O'Connell?
Aiden O'Connell, yeah.
Yeah, Raider fans should be really happy though. My number 5 is Geno Smith.
Yeah, I mean, Smith that first year in Seattle did good, got him the extension. Last few years not so great. I mean, the thing is the Raiders. I mean, we talked about before. They need a lot. They need that first overall pick. I'm not saying this is how they're going to get it, but you just never know. But my number 5, we're going to Kansas City. We brought up the quarterback spot a couple times. But I think also too, you got to shore up that, O-line. It's always nice to bring in some big people. And if he can fit, he can protect. I'm going to go with Trey Smith, the guard that they've picked up.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You're number 4.
My number 4. I'm looking. I realized that I don't have anybody for Kansas City on my players.
It happens.
Players added, but I've got one of the San Francisco 49ers exoduses going to Denver. I think this is another. You kind of look at the Denver Broncos defense and go, yeah, you need more. You had to shore that defense up a little more. My number 4 is the linebacker Dre Greenlaw.
Okay. Yeah, my number 4. Denver lost a running back, so why not go out and sign one? And if this kid can play like he did, and he can handle the workload that Denver's probably going to give him, and help them improve, I think J.K. Dobbins is going to be a big pickup there for them. You're number 3.
My number 3 is the guy that's going to replace J.K. Dobbins. This is a guy that needs to. This is a guy that got to get out of his own way. This guy's his own problem. He's his own worst enemy. But he's going to Los Angeles. I think to play behind Justin Herbert alongside. And this is another one of those guys. If he plays like he did in Pittsburgh, he's going to be a stud. I think that offense is just going to fly with him. My number. What number are we on? 4?
4? No, you're on 3.
My number 3 is Najee Harris for the Chargers.
Like that one. My number 3, I know they drafted did they draft the running back? Did Judson go to the Raiders?
You'll know here in a second.
Okay. But my number 3, we put him as a big loss in Miami. He's going to the Raiders. I think, again, this guy gets the workload and can produce. He's going to be a big factor. Raheem Mostert. You're number 2.
My number 2 is the running back that got drafted by the Las Vegas Raiders. I think this guy is the front runner for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think this guy is got all the potential. When everybody under the sun wanted him, and it's honestly amazing. My number 2 is the running back for the Las Vegas Raiders, Ashton Ginty.
Yeah, that was the running back a lot of people wanted. I know a few Bears fans wanted him badly, and it's just like, yeah, you're gonna have to move up to get him because I don't think he's
they got a hell of a tight end though in Colston Loveland.
Yeah, but the Raiders have pitcher right now. You drafted a couple stud tight ends last couple years. You draft, the running back this year, so they're moving in the right direction, but they got a lot of pieces still to fall. My number 2, well, you said he was the replacement for Dobbins in the for the Chargers, and I agree. And again, I agree with you too that he's just got to get out of his way, just take the ball and run. Najee Harris going to the Chargers, I think is going to be a big impact player there. I think Pittsburgh lose a big one there.
I've got a curveball.
Okay. All right.
We didn't because remember we didn't say top 5 players. It was top 5 additions.
Yep. No,
my number one. The reason why Geno Smith is a Las Vegas Raider is because he played under this head coach. This is going to be interesting to see what he does. My number one is the former head coach of the Jets, USC, Seattle Seahawks. I've got Pete Carroll.
That is going to be a big factor. And I wish I would have thrown that curveball out there too. Because I was thinking about it. I'm just like, no. But yeah, that's going to be a big one. That kind of reminds me. I could just see the press conference from Any Given Sunday at the end there, where Pacino's like, "I just signed, Willie Beeman to be my quarterback." That's kind of I just envisioned that in the Raiders. But my number one, I know we talk about health, especially at the quarterback position, and I think Minshew's a good backup for these guys that just need a 2-3 game run. So him signing with Kansas City, I think, is going to be big if Holmes goes down.
Yeah.
Will it be the same team? Probably not. But
the great thing is Kansas City plays Indy this year, and Kansas City and Mahomes has never beaten Indy. What happens if Mahomes is injured going into Indy, and we've got Minshew going against the Colts?
All right, so let's go to the NFC side of things. I'm going to start off with, quarterback again. I know the Niners just signed Purdy to a nice little deal there, but I think the fan base in big game situations doesn't trust Purdy so much. Not saying they're going to trust this guy either, but to have a guy that was drafted top 5 in his draft class, was supposed to be the guy, then got moved, did okay in Jacksonville, signs with the Niners. I think Mac Jones could be a serviceable backup in those big game situations when needed.
Yeah, I completely agree.
You're number 5.
I think Philadelphia should have never let this defensive end go. I think, but then again, we kind of talked about it last week, where they know when to let a person go and draft in that spot. I've got the former defensive end from Philadelphia. Good time to pick him up too. Going to the Arizona Cardinals, I got Josh Sweat.
My number 4, we're going to pick on the Niners again. You lost Samuel. I'm not saying DeMarcus Robinson's that guy, but you kind of filled the spot. We'll see how it goes. If he stays healthy, gives them a decent weapon, in that offensive side of the ball. So you're number 4.
We'll go back and pick on the 49ers again. Seems like this is 49er hater day, but
must be.
49ers are going to like me today. For this reason only, they let Javon Hargrave go to Minnesota, and then you go and pick up his replacement in the draft. I think this kid's going to be something. I think you give him a year sitting next to Nick Bosa in that defense, because San Francisco's got a hell of a defense. I've got Michael Williams, the defensive end. They picked him up through the draft. I think he's going to be big.
And sit behind Bosa, what can you say?
Yeah.
My number 3, we touched on it with the Rams. Bringing Devontae Adams in, could be a big success. I know it was Stanford College, right?
He went to Cal. No, he went to
Fresno
State.
Okay.
He went to Fresno State.
Gotcha. Okay, but he's going home. hopefully he can stay healthy. Hopefully he can make an impact. Hopefully, like you said with Harris, get out of his way and just play ball. I think that would be a big, big replacement for Cup. I mean, he's got a lot of shoes to fill, but I think he can do it. So you're number 3.
That's a nice segue into mine because you bring up Davante Adams, you bring up Cooper Kupp. My number 3 is Cooper Kupp going to Seattle. I think, you got big shoes to fill. You might not be a DK Metcalf, but you could sure be a Tyler Lockett. I think that's gonna be a big help. I just want to see. I'm afraid of what they can't do with everything else. My number 3 is the guy Davante replaces.
Yep. I got that too. I got Cup. I mean, I think it would have been better if they could have brought Cup in and kept Lockett or Metcalf, but they let both go. So, I mean, they replaced at least one of them for that offense. But, yeah, can Cup be Cup? All right, you're number 1.
My number 2. My number 2. My only question is if this guy was a product of the system. That was always my question about Brett Favre and Tom Brady. Are they products of the system? Because you saw what he did elsewhere between the Jets and the Panthers and whoever else he played for. I'm rooting for the guy. My number 2 is Sam Darnold.
Yeah, that's my number 1. I mean, is it the system? Is it the team? Is it the weapons? I mean, do you have the talent? I mean, and I think the other one that's proven, that we've always had questions about is the system is Brady. I mean, Brady went from New England to Tampa, won a ring. Sam Darnold, I don't think in that same spot, but can he put up the 90% of the numbers that he did in Minnesota? So, that one's going to be a good one. So, my number 1, Sam Darnold. Your number 1.
My number 1, I think you brought up at number 3. It's funny thing is I think all 3 of our top 3 were all the same, but just in different orders. I've got Davante Adams. You go in there and you're replacing Cooper Kupp. The guy's still not playing with the fumes yet, but he's probably 2-3 years off, and he's going to make a good solid run, I think, with Stafford and Puka Nacua and that offense. That offense is going to look sick. My number 1 is Davante Adams.
Yeah. All right. So let's go into our 4 questions for the AFC, 4 questions for the NFC. We'll start with the AFC. What is your 4th biggest question for a team in the AFC?
My 4th is the Los Angeles Raiders. My question is Pete Carroll going to be the real answer for the troubles that they have in Las Vegas? Can he solve them? Can he be the answer to that? I hope he is. Problem is, I think the problem is more Mike Davis. He's kind of trying to be – Mike Davis is trying to be the Jerry Jones of the Las Vegas Raiders. He's trying to be like his dad. The problem was his dad was smart. His dad was a coach. His dad knew general manager. He knew the ins and outs. I think it's just I think he needs to lay his hands off the team and let somebody who's a solid, great GM and come in. And I hope he goes in there and makes the team like his own and just leaves Mike Davis out of the whole thing.
Yep. My number 4 for the AFC, we're going with the Chargers. The loss of Bosa, does that defense take a step back? I think they, Bosa, big person in the locker room, big person on the field, leader. Does your defense take a step back losing that big piece?
I have a bad feeling the youngins right there. He's going to love to hear this one.
All right, your number 3.
My number 3 is about the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right.
Was the 2024 team, was the success a fluke, or is it the makings of a dynasty? The reason why I question that is Kansas City was 12-0 in 1-score games.
Yep.
Just have an off season.
He didn't hear the record that I gave him. I gave him a really off season this year.
He did not hear that. My number 3, we're going to Denver with the young quarterback. He's got to show he's the guy. They got to keep building around him. I mean, he had a good rookie year when he got in. So now the second year, the key's his. So he's got to drive it. He's got to show that he can do it.
Wow.
You're number 2.
You're kind of reading my stuff at this point. I got the Denver Broncos too. I've got is Bo Nix going to be the first quarterback drafted by the Denver Broncos since Tim Tebow to lead the team to the playoffs.
Okay. I'm going with the Raiders. Kind of like you. Are they on the right rebuild track? Are they going to be improving? I know both of us have them finishing 4th, not a good record. But are they making their games competitive? Are the rebuilds good? Do they get in the top 5 for, are they drafting right? Are the personnel right? And I think you kind of made that assumption too, get your GM in there, and stuff like that. Ownership, stay out of our business. Let's do it. So, all right, you're number 1.
My number 1 is the Los Angeles Chargers. I've got, is this going to be the year that Justin Herbert takes an Aaron Rodgers type step? I get the Vikings. I get that, not the Vikings. I get the defense, but that's the thing is they lost maybe 1-2 pieces, but they turned around and rebuilt that defense. I think Najee Harris is going to help with that additional step forward because Harris played with Ben Roethlisberger, so he knows what it's like to get people's heads in the game. I think Justin Herbert's getting to that point as he's getting I think he's near the end of his rookie contract, or close to the end, or he's like a year.
Well, I think he ended it, but I think he signed extensions. I think, I don't know.
But he's got to make that step. Everybody's so high, and it's just the thing is he's got to be able to make that step, and he hasn't made it yet.
Yep, nope, I got you. You talked about Kansas City. Is their my number 1 is going to be Kansas City. Is their time running out? I mean, is the league going to catch up to them on what they're doing? I mean. We watch their games. Yeah, a lot of people think the refs are in their back pocket, but Mahomes makes some magic plays. I mean, they bring in this piece and turns out to be a decent. So is the NFL catching up to them?
Yeah.
Are they going to be that dynasty team? I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, luck can only go so far. So, all right. So let's get to the NFC. For me, I'm going to start with the Cardinals. Is time running out on Murray? I mean, he's got, he's had weapons. He's had decent seasons. He hasn't really been, kind of like you and your Herbert comment. Is he going to take that step now to be the guy? So is Murray's time running out? Is he going to take that step? Is he going to show that he is the quarterback, or does the Cardinals need to think of somewhere else?
Right. Well, that was the whole question for like the last couple of years.
Exactly.
He's had weapons. He had Hopkins for a while there, and he didn't use it. And it was like, good Lord.
Yeah.
Well, I like your Cardinals, and I'll rate you the Cardinals too. Is the defensive draft picks that they got going to be enough to push that defense over that little hump they've got? I think the offense can keep them in games, but it's the defense that tends to lose them for Arizona. I'm hoping that their defense steps up and makes the West a bit more competitive. That's what I got to think about.
All right, my number 3. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of tie. It's gonna be Seattle. Can Cooper Kupp deliver? And I'm also going to throw in there, kind of like Sam Darnold. Was it a 1-year fluke? But, can Kupp be that leader that they need on that offensive side of the ball along with Darnold? And can Seattle get back to that promised land? You're number 3.
Well, my number 3 is also with the Seattle Seahawks, which I really start to think you've really looked at my stuff. And the thing is, it's Darnold. Did Seattle pay too much for Darnold after a 1 year? I think I still to this day will think that Darnold should have stayed at least another year in Minnesota. I get it. You have a great season. You go get paid. I think you had a serviceable quarterback in Geno Smith. Let him walk to Las Vegas. I think it was a mistake, but I'm not a guy to go tell you not to go get the bag when you get the bag.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it wasn't a mistake on the Seahawks front.
Yeah, and the thing is I think Darnold would have stayed in Minnesota, but with us drafting McCaffrey so high up the year before, I think that's what led him to walk. I mean, if they would have made it, I mean, it would have been tougher to let him walk if we would have made it to the division game, championship game, or all obviously the Super Bowl. So, but I think the writing was on the wall that McCarthy was the guy. So.
Yeah.
My number 2, we talk about Purdy and his playing big games. Does the Niners have the right backup now in Matt Jones to be able to count on him if Purdy goes down and they don't have to be like, oh my God, are we going to be able to win this game? So do they got the right backup to help that team? You're number 2.
Well, I went the Los Angeles Rams route. There was only 2 teams left, so I measured,
Okay.
I'll go with the other one. Swapping Cooper Kupp, was that enough? Swapping Devontae Adams for Cooper Kupp, is that going to be enough to get Matthew Stafford into the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl? How much does Devontae still have left in the tank, and can Devontae check his ego at the door? Because that's going to be important. And the thing is, I think the worst thing is, it's the fact is he's in Los Angeles, where much like New York, you have to glitz, glam, and be big. You got to be Broadway. You got to be Hollywood. I think it's a mistake. But if he can be what he was in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, the sky's the limit for the Rams.
Yep. My number 1, kind of the same thing. Adams, Stafford. Can they connect quick? I mean, can they get on the right page right away? A lot has to do with Adams. I mean, if Adams is healthy, is Adams willing to check his ego at the door? Is he willing to just go out there and play ball? I mean, you're at home now. This is where you're from, so you're going to want a good showing for your hometown crowd. So, can Adams do that? So, you're number 1.
My number 1 is the San Francisco 49ers. Did the Super Bowl window close, or is it open for maybe one more season? This team should have won at least the last 3 Super Bowls ever since McCaffrey got there. And it's like, how do you not get there? I understand that the first NFC Championship game, you lose Brock Purdy. I get it. I understand. But you've got all these weapons, and maybe Purdy's a lot better than we think he is, because he's not. Because we all think he was the game manager, and then we found out that he was a lot, especially in that NFC Championship game. He's another one that's got to take that step too. But you're basically leveraging tomorrow today, and they need to figure that out.
Yeah, and I think with the Purdy too, again, he was the Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. A lot of people didn't have the faith in him, and now, he's got a lot of shoes to fill because he is doing good, but the team is also doing good. So, when that team's going to go around their quarterback, a lot of teams are built like that. That if their star quarterback goes down,
look at Indy. Look what Indy with during the Peyton Manning year.
Yep. All right, so that's our West. You guys can take it to the bank or however you want to do it if you're watching this. Now we're getting into our blind 5. I love this category. I love that we added this to our show. So, Tim, why don't you give me your category for me? And again, we don't know what we're picking for each other. So give me your category for me and my choices.
All right. you kind of brought up something last week that was kind of interesting, and I kind of want to hear how you do things when you're in the my GM mode in WWE 2K25.
All right.
And you draft. So I wanna know who you're drafting first
Ooh.
out of these 5 people.
Okay.
I'm gonna start off with Seth Rollins.
2.
Honestly, I haven't really drafted him, but I'll go 3. I'll go 3 with Seth.
Okay. My next one is Gunther.
4.
Yeah, I'll go 5. And in the background, you hear my kid yelling out things. So
Okay.
I'll go 5 for Gunther. I'm not a big Gunther fan. I mean, yeah. Well,
Rhea Ripley.
I know you're gonna put that person.
God, that's tough. I gotta go
3.
1. I gotta
3.
go 1 with her.
1 with her.
Yeah.
Okay. The OTC himself, the original tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
Oh
I
God.
think you're gonna put Knight in there, so 5.
That's tough.
5.
If it was, I'm gonna go 2 with Roman.
I have 1 left.
All right.
Cody Rhodes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good spot.
Yeah, I'll go 4 with Cody. I like what he's done when he's come back, but the beginning of his career, I mean, who would have thought this would have been like this? I mean, so no, I like that. I think Rhea's definitely, she's the cream of the crop right now when it comes to women. So I think she's definitely up there. Cody, yeah, he's there. I mean,
It's not Tiffany time.
but all right. So my top 5, I heard this on the radio, so I thought I'd look it up just to kind of get some ideas. We always talk about this. What would you give up to get your team to win a championship? Okay. I will eliminate right now dying, killing my best friend, anything to do with that part of things, because that's just not realistic.
What would I give
And
up
actually,
for
some of these are not realistic either, but
what would I give up for what?
for your team to win a title.
So the only team that in my lifetime that has never won a title is the Brewers.
Okay.
Because the Penguins won, the Bucks won, and the Colts have won. All in my lifetime.
Yep. Your current life savings. If you have one.
I'm not even close. Wow, that seems easy. That by itself should be 1.
Okay, the average person.
I'm an average person. I think I honestly a fanatic would go 2.
Fanatic would go to. Okay.
Yeah.
You cannot do this again, but give up your marriage. So you couldn't get married again for your team to win a title.
Nah, 5. I'm happy. My wife would kill me, so that my marriage would end, but so would my life.
I know you don't work per se, but most companies give an annual bonus. Give up your annual bonus for your team to win a title.
Oh, without a question. God, if it were that simple.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm going to say 1. I'm going to say 1 because now I'm afraid what my 3 and 4 are going to be.
All right. Having to choose to go to a family wedding.
Oh, I like family wedding stuff. I like family weddings. Yeah, I'll stick at 4.
You'll stick at 4 with that?
I've got great family weddings, so yeah, I wouldn't give that up.
Yeah. Losing the chance to date your Hollywood crush.
That should be 5.
Yeah, it's got to be 3, but yeah. if I'd have made that 1, I make guaranteed 5 would be at number 2 because I'd both end my life and my wet marriage. Yeah, 3.
Well, so the poll I found, and this is actually on there, date your lose the chance to date your crush was at 22%.
Really?
Going to a family wedding was 12%.
Yeah.
Giving up your annual bonus was 7%. Your life savings was 3%, and losing your marriage was 4%. The other ones on there was a death one, attending a funeral. I'm trying to think of another high one up there, but yeah, those are they only had like 10, so it was pretty interesting to read that and see that. For me, I mean, the Twins are the only team to win it for me, but I would give up any chance to date a celebrity crush to win. Was my number 1. Give up my work annual bonus. I mean, if it was decent enough, I would. My number 3 was attend a family wedding. Number 4 would be giving up my life savings. And number 5, I'm with you. Give up my marriage for my team to win a title. So
yeah,
I'll have to do it again.
I'm thinking. I just got this marriage. I'm not going to give it away this fast.
So, all right. So with that being said, Tim, any final thoughts?
I know we're in talks about when we're going to have morning tailgate. Yes, there's going to be an announcement on that. I don't know when. It's just,
we're working on details. Sounds like to get a good crew, consistent, will probably be a Saturday night. Might be the best. So it might be morning tailgate at night. Be raining it.
Morning tailgate after dark.
Morning tailgate after dark. We'll keep the morning tailgate.
Wait! Hold on. This would be great. Now, because can we follow the rules of 4 bros if we're after dark?
I don't know because it's still going to be early time our side, but that's the tentative plan right now is to do it on a Saturday to get Tim involved, myself, Crispy, and maybe a couple others. I got Bears Huddle tomorrow. I got to finalize that with Coach Cody. He's got some big news. Season's right around the corner.
I got big news.
What's up?
Tomorrow I turn the big 5-0.
Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday. 5-0. God.
50.
I know.
You're 3 years ahead of me. Wow.
Yeah.
I knew we were close in age. I actually kind of thought we were a little bit further, but I knew
you were born in 77.
77, yep.
Yeah, you're born the same year Ryan was.
Yeah.
He's 2 years. He's technically.
Got big plans for tomorrow?
I don't know. It's all Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, happy birthday there. So, with that being said, keep checking us out. Between the Ropes, morning tailgate, entertainment hour. I don't think we've done baseball, but I'll have to hit with Crispy. Maybe we'll do a baseball show after the All-Star break here. You guys watch the All-Star game, what a game it was. I like the ending of the swing off. I think that was really cool. But with that being said, check us out next week for Rankem. Have a good one.